With the potential for a wipe looming on the horizon, this being reinforced by the man himself on social media, and Tarkov having some slower moments in raid, I figured it would be fun to take a step back from all the shooting and the looting, and go over something that we all know to be true: the animations in Tarkov and how supreme they are. I've made some shorts about them in the past, just showing them off, but now I wanted to go over each weapon animations and kinda give them a rating. Now, I'll be brutally honest, there are too many guns in the game to go over each and every single one. On top of that, many weapons share the exact same animations. The 5.45 AKs are a perfect example of this. It even translates to some of the other AK options in different calibers. So, the way I figured I'd do this without going insane and having this video be an hour long is to basically use one weapon for an entire caliber if the animations across that weapon platform are the same. So, one AK will cover every other AK with the same animations. This will be applicable to other calibers with the same weapon quirk. The animations that I will be taking into consideration for this rating are the general inspect, chamber out, chamber in, empty reload, and a mag removal. You might ask, what about the normal reload? And that, my answer is, technically you see the reload through these animations, but it's just separated into two different parts. It should give us all the necessary movement and handling with the gun for me to give an arbitrary number rating that doesn't really matter, but should still be fun regardless. Also, I will be most likely doing this by weapon type, so we're going to start with the assault rifles and work our way around to other weapon types, to make sure we don't get bogged down in the trenches of each weapon animation. So with all that sorted out of the way, make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and let's begin with the first weapon category, the assault rifles. Starting with the TX-15, which is in the same family as the M4, the ADAR, and the HK for the 5.56 guns. The full body inspect is simple, but gets the point across seeing both sides of the weapon. These reloads and animations play a strong role in using the charging handle, which is always nice. And a personal gripe of mine, while isn't the animation itself, I do miss all these guns with their old sounds when it comes to mag reloading and all the other noises, but overall the chamber animation's great when you put a round into the gun, and the animations are very seamless and straightforward, so I'd have to say like an 8 out of 10 for the 5.56 guns. The MCX is in a similar boat to the TX and the 5.56. It's in a familiar family with a different weapon. Some of the animations are reused for the MCX, mag in, chamber out, chamber in, but the unique animations that this gun does have are very quick, snappy, responsive, they look good, they sound good, and I didn't show it here, but the quick reload where you dump the mag and put a new one in is the fastest, I think, in the entire game, which is crazy. So overall, there's some similarities, but the ones that it do have that are unique are very nice, so I'd say like 7 out of 10 for the MCX, I think that's fair. The AK-74. This 5.45 gun shares the animations for every other 5.45 AK in addition to all the 7.62 AK animations. The AKM, all the 7.62 variants, all the 5.45 variants, this gun shares the same ones. It's a very simple inspect, but it's solid just like the 5.56 guns. There's no button on the side to cycle the round. That's all done with the charging handle, which is a nice add to its personality. It has a great chamber out, chamber in animation. It's very stylish and classic. Overall, the AKs have wonderful animation, so I'd give them a solid 8 out of 10 personally. The Mutant is the one exception to sharing the animations of the AKs. All of its animations are unique, with a large focus on using the charging handle, as it also has no button on the side. And I think personally, for me, the chamber out, chamber in animations are some of the most stylish because of how he shoulders the weapon and uses his other hand to put a round in. Super cool looking and very sleek and very interesting animation. So again, overall, pretty solid. I'd say like an 8 out of 10 as well for the Mutant. Very nice. Both the 308 and the 5.56 Scars, both tan and black versions, actually share the same animations. The mag in might be a tiny different because one's a straight box and the other one has a curve to it, but other than that, the animations are very much the same. My problem with the Scar is that the weapon is so big, it can kind of hard to see what's going on, and luckily, at least on the upside, charging handle is used for most of the animations, but they are a little stiff and have simple motions, so they're nothing crazy, except for the chamber in. That one's pretty cool, but overall I'd say like a 6 out of 10 for the Scars, unfortunately. The SA-58, a once juggernaut of Tarkov, unfortunately fallen from grace. A very heavy gun, and the animations complement this feeling in strides. It's very strong, has great sound effects. I really do appreciate the chamber out, how he grabs the bullet. That's always a personal touch that I love. And using only the charging handle and not really using the button on the side, again, gives it a little bit more flair. So overall, the weapon is very nice, and the animations, again, feel heavy and they sound heavy. So I'd say like a solid 7 out of 10 I think is fair for the FAL. Oh, this is a personal favorite of mine, the 308 and the 5.56 MDRs. The ambidextrous setup of the weapon is really interesting. Even though your character is only right-handed, being able to do this almost on both sides is really cool. And I really love how in almost all the animation, he's using both his hands to do things, whether it's grab a bullet or pull the chamber or press the button. And I think the chamber in on these guns is the best animation in Tarkov and my personal favorite because of how complex it is. So overall, I'm a little biased to this gun because it's my favorite, but I would say these animations are a solid 9 out of 10. The G36, a fairly new introduction to the game. The charging handle itself goes on both sides of the gun, similar to how ambidextrous it is with the 308 MDR, which is cool. And there's a lot of movement, but I will say the G36 feels kind of stiff with a lot of its animations. They're very simple, and there's not a ton of fluidity to them. They're very 1-1-1, if that makes any sense. I know it's hard to illustrate that with words, but overall, the round fling, again, is always appreciated, but the animations are pretty straightforward, so I would say another 7 out of 10 I think is fair. Last but certainly not least is the Ash 12, and this is a chunky, bulk-up weapon, and you can, again, like the SA-58, you can feel the weight with every action of this gun. Even just putting the mag in or out, you can feel how heavy and weighted this gun is. It's a big boy. And I think the chamber animations are awesome due to its bulk-up configuration, even though when you look down at the gun, it's a little cumbersome. Overall, I think this gun is great, has heavy animations, is just a chunky boy in general, so I would, again, give it a 9 out of 10. It's a great weapon for animations.